Hi everyone, it's Jackie in Nantwich. Today I thought we could talk about how we keep well in our 60s and beyond. And obviously it's important that we keep well as long as we can and we keep healthy as long as we can. And also at any age really, whatever we age, the earlier we can make that conscious effort to do that, the better our 60s and beyond will be. But we are where we are. I'm in my 60s now, and so for the last few years I've tried to make a conscious effort to look after myself more, which is sometimes a challenge. It's not always easy when there's certain things that we like or we want to eat or we don't feel like exercising, that sort of thing. But I think it's important that we do it. So that's what I'd like to talk about, that we could discuss today. So I've got 4 things that I actually want to go through that I do, and I try to do them all on a regular basis if I can. And it's not set in stone. I'm not saying that I'm doing it all the time, I'm super focused. I'm not. I'm just the same as everybody else. I get sidetracked, I don't feel like doing it, the weather's not very good, all sorts of excuses and reasons we can make for ourselves. But I do try to do the best I can really every day. And I think even if you do fall a bit off the wagon sort of thing, you can get back on it the next day and it's a fresh day and we can start again. So like I say, I'm going to talk about the 4 things that I try to do on a regular basis. Oh, and I've also got a little extra tip right at the end of the video that you might like to stay tuned and watch that for. And welcome to any new viewers that I've got today, and welcome back to the viewers that I already have. I do really appreciate you dropping in and watching what I'm up to, and hopefully we can experience things together and you can share your experiences with me, because I think that's what it's all about, isn't it? We are all helping each other. We're all in the same boat and we're all helping each other. So the first thing that I really want to say, they're not in any particular order of importance. They're just 4 things that I try to stick to. And the first one of these things is I try to eat reasonably healthy if I can. I have had a little health issue. It's nothing major, awful or anything like that, but I have had to try and change my diet a little bit and try to be a bit healthier and cut some foods out and introduced other foods. So that's made a little bit more of a challenge for me really, but I've been doing it now for about the last 6 weeks. Prior to that, obviously, I've been trying to look after myself, eating as healthy and as well as I can. I try to eat a lot of fruit and vegetables if I can. I do like fruit and vegetables. So I try to make those quite a big staple of my diet. I was a vegetarian for quite a long time, but I just sort of eat fish and probably chicken now. I don't really eat a lot of meat. I wouldn't say I'm a big meat eater, but fruit and vegetables are the staple really. And protein, obviously, as we get older, protein's very important to us, well, to all of us, but especially as we're older. We can lose muscle tone, etc., that sort of thing after sort of the menopause. So protein, I try to get plenty of that in the way of chicken, fish, little bit of dairy. I do drink an awful lot of milk, I must confess. I do like banana milkshakes and things like that, so I do make those as well, and I like my coffee and breakfast on my milk on my cereal, that sort of thing. And fibre as well. I've just recently tried to up the fibre and change, because I'm a bit of a creature of habit. I tend to stick with the same things all the time. So I am trying to eat a little bit more fibre and introduce that into my diet as well. So really those are the main sort of things that I have. I do quite like seeds and nuts sprinkled on my cereal or yoghurt, but I do find that I can eat those, it's weird. I can eat them in the morning, I'm absolutely fine. In the afternoon, they don't seem to agree with me. So I always make sure that I have them on breakfast and it's out of the way then. So the next thing that I really want to say is as well that I have sort of tried to increase my exercise really. I wouldn't say I'm a big sporty person. I've never really been sporty by any stretch of the imagination. But I have always tried to sort of do a little bit of swimming or bit of exercise. I had the leggings in the 80s and all that sort of thing, along with Jane Fonda. I'm really showing my age now. But so I've always sort of tried to, especially when I had my two sons, I tried to get back in a bit more shape and made a bit of an effort, and I do sort of quite enjoy it. But the last 2 years, since I've sort of retired a little bit more, I'm still doing a few little bits and bobs, but more or less retired, I've had the opportunity really to sort of up the game with the exercise. So what I try to do is I do a Pilates class twice a week if I can. I do a body tone type class, which is a little bit aerobic and a little bit sort of resistance type exercise. And then I usually do something like it's called an express body, which is a little bit of weight training, because we're always told that we lose a lot of muscle, and so it's important. And a top tip really, if you're much younger, please, if you can, start to do that as soon as you can, because I think it's so important. I wouldn't say I've left it too late, but I wished I'd have done it a long time ago, because I do think I've seen a difference with a little bit more muscle strength, and it's given me a little bit more sort of resistance and a bit more energy and a bit more stamina. So I would definitely say, if you can do that, do something like that, because I do think it's important. But I think the most important thing is really to be consistent and try and do something, if you can, every day, even if it's only just 5 minutes walk around the block or up and down the stairs a few times. I think everything that we do makes a massive difference. Little tiny things can make a huge difference to our overall health. That's just my opinion, really. I'm not an expert on exercise or nutrition or anything like that. It's just purely my opinion, and I'm just sharing the things that I do to try and keep me as healthy as possible. The third thing that I'd like to share with you today is sleep. I think that's so important. It can be a bit underrated really, because we think we've got that many things to do. We need to cram as much as we can in each day. Sleep's the last thing that we want to think about, but I think it's really important. It is for me that I get a good night's sleep. I'm not saying I do all the time. Sometimes I do struggle, especially sort of as I sort of got into my 60s and go through the menopause and all that sort of thing. It can be very difficult sometimes to switch off and get to sleep, or you wake up in the middle of the night and you're all hot and it feels very uncomfortable. But I do think if I go to bed at a regular time, and I naturally do that, I've always done it, I go to bed usually about 10 o'clock in the evening. Anything after that, I'm a bit useless the next day. I do sometimes, if we go out or that sort of thing, I might stay up a little bit later, obviously, but it does sort of put me out a bit. So I do like to, if I can, get to bed at 10 o'clock in the evening, and then naturally I just wake up about 6 o'clock. I don't have to put the alarm clock on. It just works. I've done it for so long, that just seems to work for me. I like getting up early in the morning. I'm not a night owl. I probably am a morning person. I like to get up in the morning. I like the house nice and quiet. I like to come round slowly. In the old days, I'd probably make a cup of tea, but I'm not really drinking as much caffeine at the moment. So I usually make just a hot water and sit there and just enjoy it, really. And then you can sort of think what you're going to do the rest of the day, and it's a nice calm way to start the day, and that seems to work for me. So I do think sleep is very important. It makes us feel better, it makes us feel refreshed, and sometimes it's hard to just switch off, but if we can, and I think that's important. Another thing that I think is important is if I do get some fresh air in the day, which I try to do every day, I don't know whether it works for me or it's psychological or anything like that, but it does seem to help me I seem to sleep better on the days that I do get a little walk than the days that I don't seem to. So that's really, I think, one of the key things for me is sleep. I think the fourth thing that I think I try to do as well is, well, I do actually, is to keep in touch with people. I think that's really important, especially I know I keep going on about when we're older, but when we're at home and we're not going out and about so much, like we're not going to work or we're not going to lots of social things as much, it can be a little bit isolating if you're not careful. So I do make sure that I keep in touch with family and friends. Obviously everybody's super busy, aren't they? So it's difficult sometimes to catch up with people. But I do try to catch up with friends on a regular basis, or family, perhaps even if it's just a phone call or a text message, just to say hi, just checking in, how are you? Or perhaps a coffee. Sometimes I can meet locally in the town and we go and have a coffee and a little catch up if it's been a while. And I do enjoy that. I think it's really important. And I think friends are important too, because we need each other, don't we, really? And sometimes I might have a little girly day out with a friend and we go and have something to eat, or a coffee, or a little shop. But bit of retail therapy never goes amiss, does it? That should probably be one of me. I probably should say 5 things, retail therapy, because I do like a little bit of that. So I do think it's important, and I think as your relatives and your family get older, it's more important to keep in touch with them, because they probably might need a little bit of help, and sometimes we might need a little bit of help. So it's all for the good, and it just makes us feel better when we're in touch with people that we love, even if it's people that we don't know, that we meet randomly out and about. It's nice to have little conversations with people, and let's face it, that's how most friends start off, isn't it? Little random things we meet. We've got like-minded people, we might meet them wherever, and eventually they become friends, because it's true that we can't make an old friend. It's something that we create over a long time, so it's important that we look after them. So I do try to do that with friends and the relatives. So that's how I try to sort of guide that I've set myself, the goal of how I try to keep myself well and healthy. I do think also an important part of, which is going to be the extra thing that I'm going to add on really, is it's important to get health checks if you need them. I think it's important to have, if you're called by your doctor, or like for just random regular health checkups, it's important that we go. I go to, I'm called in to go and have blood tests. I've got a blood test, fasting blood test coming up soon. It's just an annual one that I have. I have a regular blood test, a blood pressure. Even at Boots sometimes when I go to pick a prescription up, they'll say, oh, you're set to have one. Have you got time to have a blood pressure? And I think it's important that we have those sort of checks. Also, I think really important that we have checkups like mammograms as well, and any other health checks that we might be offered, that we have them, especially as we get a bit older too, because after, I think it's 70, that we don't get a recall then, but we can keep having them. We can ask to have them, and I am definitely going to do that when I reach my 70s, and I'm not recalled automatically every 3 years. I will make sure that I still go for them, because I think it's really important to keep on sort of check of your health and keep on top of everything. So I think that's another good thing that it's important to have. I also have a flu jab every year as well, and I know sometimes, I don't think I'm offered a COVID one at the moment, but some people are offered COVID ones too, and I think it's important that whatever we have, we keep the checkups going. I also have regular dental checkups as well, twice a year. I know that's a bit of a issue at the moment with, there's not a lot of NHS places, and I used to have an NHS dentist for all my life really. But now I do pay for checkups. I go to the same dentist, but it's not NHS now. And I go twice a year for a checkup, and I see the hygienist twice a year. So all those sort of things help to keep us as well and as healthy as possible. So that's all the things that I try to do. So that's the extra thing that I would say. If you are offered anything, make sure if you can, you go to it, because it's only for our own benefit, isn't it? So I think that's about it really. That's what all I want to, I want to discuss, we can discuss today really. And I hope you enjoy the videos. I'm going to try and put them out once a week if I can. I'd love you to join me and tell me what you're up to, what health tips you have, and your lifestyle choices that you make to try and keep you as well and healthy as possible, because I'm always open to new ideas. I'm really interested in that sort of thing. And I do think every little thing that we do, it's a bit like the health bank, isn't it? Like we save money up in the regular banks if we want to save for some particular item or whatever. And I look at it that every little thing that we do, we get like a little health coin and it goes into our health bank. So hopefully stands us in good stead for the next whatever years to come, and that we can enjoy every one of them as much as we do every day now. So I'll leave it there, and I shall speak to you all very soon. Whatever you're up to today, have a lovely day, and I shall be in touch very soon. Take care.